The call came during my quarterly review meeting with the regional director. My phone vibrated 3 times before I excused myself to check it. Mall security. My stomach dropped. Is this Sarah Martinez? We have your daughter Lily here at the information desk. She's fine, but she was found alone in a vehicle in our parking lot. I was already grabbing my keys. I'm 10 minutes away. Please stay with her. Ma'am, she's been here about 20 minutes. We found her almost 90 minutes ago. She said her aunt told her to wait in the car. My hands went cold. Her aunt. A woman named Victoria Martinez. Your daughter had her contact information. We've been trying to reach her, but she isn't answering her phone. Because Victoria was inside shopping. My sister had left my 8-year-old daughter alone in a parking lot for an hour and a half so she could browse the summer clearance sales. I made it to the mall in 8 minutes. Lily was sitting at the security desk with a juice box and a coloring book one of the guards had found for her. When she saw me, her face crumpled. I'm sorry, Mommy. Aunt Vicky said she'd be right back. I held her tight, checking her over. The day was warm but not dangerously hot. The security guard, an older man with kind eyes, gave me the full story. We do regular parking lot patrols. Found her around 1:15. She was scared but okay. Said her aunt was shopping and told her to wait. We tried calling the aunt multiple times. No answer. Where is my sister now? Still shopping, presumably. We have her license plate from your daughter's information. Silver SUV, correct? I nodded, my jaw tight. Thank you for taking care of her. I'll handle my sister. I was buckling Lily into my car when Victoria finally appeared, shopping bags hanging from both arms. She saw us and waved cheerfully. There you are. I was just coming back to check on her. 90 minutes, I said quietly. You left my daughter alone for 90 minutes. Oh, don't be dramatic. She's fine. The sales were incredible. Look, I got this dress for 60% off using your discount code. She held up a shopping bag proudly. Get in your car. Follow me home. Now. Something in my voice made her smile fade. Sir, come on. She's totally fine. Now, Victoria. The drive back to my house was silent. Lily fell asleep in the back seat, exhausted from the stress. Victoria pulled into my driveway behind me, still carrying her shopping bags. Inside, I made Lily a snack and turned on her favorite show. Then I turned to Victoria. Mall security called me. They found her. They tried to call you 12 times. Victoria pulled out her phone. Oh. I had it on silent. The stores are so loud, you know. You left an 8-year-old child alone in a parking lot for an hour and a half. I told her I'd be right back. And I was coming back. You're acting like I abandoned her. You did abandon her. She was found by security. They called the police. Did you know that? There's a report filed. Child Services was notified. That got her attention. What? That's insane. She was fine. She was alone in a parking lot for 90 minutes while you shopped. Using my employee discount. Victoria shifted uncomfortably. Okay, I'm sorry. I lost track of time. But everything worked out. No. Nothing worked out. You endangered my child. And you've been using my employee discount for 2 years without asking. You said I could use it. I said you could use it once for your birthday. That was 2 years ago. I checked with corporate this morning. You've used it 47 times. That's fraud, Victoria. Her face went pale. I thought it was fine. You never said I couldn't keep using it. Because I didn't know you were still using it. The discount is for immediate family only. Spouses, children, parents. Not siblings. I could lose my job. But you won't, right? I mean, they won't find out. I pulled out my phone and opened my work email. I had drafted a message during my drive home. I'm reporting it. Right now. Sir, wait. Don't do that. I'll stop using it. I promise. You left my daughter alone in a parking lot. You used my employee benefits fraudulently for 2 years. You haven't even apologized. I just did apologize. No. You made excuses. There's a difference. I hit send on the email. It went to my direct manager, copied to HR and loss prevention. Subject line: unauthorized use of employee discount. Victoria's phone buzzed. Then again. Then a third time. She looked at the screen and her expression changed. What did you do? I revoked your access. The discount code I gave you is now flagged as stolen. Every purchase you made is being reviewed. You'll be receiving bills for the difference between what you paid and what you should have paid. That's thousands of dollars. 47 transactions over 2 years. I'd estimate around $12,000 in unauthorized discounts. Victoria stood up, her shopping bags forgotten. You can't do this. I'm your sister. And Lily is my daughter. My daughter that you left alone so you could save money on clothes. I'll pay you back. Just tell them it was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake. It was fraud. And child endangerment. 2 separate issues. Mom and Dad are going to hear about this. I already called them. They're coming over tonight. Victoria's confidence cracked. What did you tell them? The truth. That you left Lily alone in a parking lot and that you've been fraudulently using my employee discount for 2 years. They won't believe you. Mall security has video footage. My company has transaction records. There's nothing to believe or not believe. It's all documented. Victoria sat back down heavily. I didn't think it was a big deal, the discount thing. You work for corporate. I figured you had access to lots of discounts. I do. For me. Not for you. The company takes this seriously. Last year someone got fired for letting their roommate use their discount code 3 times. 3 times, Victoria. You used it 47 times. What's going to happen? You're going to receive a bill. You're going to pay it. If you don't, they'll take you to civil court. And the mall security report about Lily is going to child services. They'll investigate. Investigate me? No. They'll investigate whether Lily is safe around you. Which means you won't be able to take her anywhere unsupervised. Possibly not at all. Victoria's eyes filled with tears. I love Lily. I would never hurt her. You left her alone in a parking lot. That is hurting her. She was terrified. She thought something had happened to you. Security found her crying. I didn't know she was crying. Because you weren't there. My parents arrived at 6. My father's face was stone. My mother looked between Victoria and me, trying to understand. Tell us what happened, Dad said. I laid it out simply. The parking lot, the 90 minutes, the security call, the discount fraud. All of it. Victoria tried to interrupt several times. It wasn't that long. She's exaggerating. The discount was basically a gift. Dad held up his hand. Victoria. Stop talking. He turned to me. You filed a report with your company? Yes. And with mall security. Child services was automatically notified because she's a minor who was found unattended. Mom looked at Victoria. You used Sarah's work discount without permission? She said I could use it once. I just kept using it. I didn't think it was a problem. 47 times, I said. Over 2 years. The company calls that systematic fraud. How much does she owe? Dad asked. Roughly $12,000 in unauthorized discounts. Plus potential fines from the company. They're still reviewing. Victoria started crying. I don't have $12,000. Then you'll make a payment plan, Dad said. You'll pay every cent. Sarah could lose her job because of this. I didn't mean for any of this to happen. But it did happen, Mom said quietly. You left Lily alone. That's unforgivable. She was fine. She was lucky, I corrected. She was lucky that security found her. Lucky that nothing happened. Lucky that it was a mild day. But luck isn't protection, Victoria. My phone buzzed. My manager. I stepped into the kitchen to answer. Sarah, I got your email. I need you to come in tomorrow morning. HR wants to discuss the situation. Am I in trouble? No. But we need to document everything. The fraud investigation is being opened formally. Your sister will receive certified letters within the week. And Sarah? I'm sorry this happened. You did the right thing reporting it. I hung up and returned to the living room. Victoria was arguing with our parents about payment plans, how she couldn't afford this and how I was ruining her life. Enough, I said. Here's what happens now. You pay back the money. All of it. You don't contact Lily unless I approve it. You don't come to family events where she'll be present unless I approve it. And you get help. Help. Therapy. Because people who make good decisions don't leave children alone in parking lots for 90 minutes. And they don't commit fraud against their own family. You're trying to control my life. I'm trying to protect my daughter. If that controls your life, that's because you made dangerous choices. Victoria looked at our parents. Are you going to let her do this? Dad stood up. We're going to support Sarah. He's right. You need help. And you need to face consequences. I can't believe you're all turning on me. We're not turning on you, Mom said. We're holding you accountable. There's a difference. Victoria grabbed her shopping bags and headed for the door. Fine. I'll pay your stupid money. But don't expect me at Christmas. I don't, I said simply. Not this year. Maybe not next year. Not until you understand what you did wrong. She slammed the door. My mother winced at the sound. Did we just lose her? Mom asked. No, I said. She lost herself. We're just refusing to pretend everything's fine. Dad hugged me. You did the right thing. It was hard, but it was right. After they left, I checked on Lily. She was awake, having slept through most of the confrontation. Is Aunt Vicky mad at me? She asked. No, sweetie. Aunt Vicky made bad choices. She's mad at herself. Will I see her again? Someday. When she's ready to be safe and responsible. Okay. She hugged her stuffed bear. Mommy, I was really scared in the car. I know, baby. I'm so sorry that happened to you. The security guard was nice. He gave me juice. That was very kind of him. Are you mad at Aunt Vicky? I thought about that. I'm disappointed. And I'm protecting you. Sometimes those feelings look like anger. Oh. She processed that. Can we have pancakes for breakfast? Absolutely. The next morning I met with HR and my manager. They reviewed the transaction records, 47 uses of my employee discount code by someone who wasn't authorized. The total amount of unauthorized discounts was actually higher than I thought. $14,300. We'll be pursuing repayment, the HR director said. This is a clear case of fraud. However, since you reported it immediately upon discovering the extent of the misuse, you're not being held responsible. Will this affect my employment? No. You acted with integrity. That's exactly what we expect from our management team. My manager walked me out after the meeting. Your sister is going to receive some pretty aggressive collection letters. Just prepare yourself for that. I'm prepared. She made her choices. How's your daughter? Scared but okay. We're working through it. Good. Take tomorrow off if you need it. Family leave. Thank you. Victoria's first payment letter arrived 3 days later. She called me screaming about lawyers and lawsuits and how I'd destroyed her credit. I let her yell for 2 minutes, then calmly explained that fraud has consequences and hung up. She called our parents. They told her to pay the bill. She called my ex-husband, Lily's father. He told her she was lucky I hadn't pressed criminal charges. 2 weeks later, Victoria showed up at my door. No shopping bags this time. She looked tired. Can I come in? Lily's at a friend's house. You have 15 minutes. We sat in my living room. She twisted her hands in her lap. I talked to a therapist. Like you said. Good. She helped me understand some things, about boundaries and consequences and taking responsibility. I waited. I'm sorry. Really sorry. Not because I got caught, but because I endangered Lily and because I stole from you. That's what it was. Theft. Yes. I'm making payments to the company. It's going to take me 3 years. That's between you and them. I want to make it right with you. And with Lily. But I understand if that takes time. It will take time. Trust is rebuilt slowly. The therapist said I have some issues with impulse control and entitlement. We're working on it. Good. She stood to leave. Thank you for not pressing criminal charges. I know you could have. I still could. The statute of limitations is 3 years. I know. I'm going to prove you don't need to. I'm going to do better. After she left, I sat in the quiet living room. My phone buzzed with a text from my manager. Your sister's first payment cleared. Just FYI. Small steps. That's all anyone could take. Small steps toward accountability, toward change, toward rebuilding what had been broken. I picked up Lily from her friend's house that evening. She chattered about the games they'd played and the snacks they'd eaten. Normal kid stuff. Safe kid stuff. Mommy, can we go to the mall this weekend? I smiled. How about we go to the park instead? Okay. Can we get ice cream? Definitely. Some things needed time to heal. The mall could wait. Trust could wait. For now, we had parks and ice cream and the simple safety of knowing that the people around my daughter would keep her protected. That was enough. My niece snatched my son's new phone right out of his hands during Sunday dinner at my parents' house. Emma, only 12 years old, held it up like a trophy while my 7-year-old son, Daniel, stood frozen in shock, his face crumpling as he tried not to cry in front of everyone. Mom says poor kids don't need expensive things, Emma announced loudly enough for everyone at the table to hear. The conversation around us died instantly. She examined the phone with exaggerated interest, turning it over in her hands like she was inspecting something she owned. This is way too nice for someone like Daniel. He probably doesn't even know how to use all the features. My sister Jennifer laughed from across the table, not even bothering to correct her daughter. She's not wrong, honestly. Your kids do seem to have too much lately. She took a sip of wine, her rings catching the light, designer labels visible on everything she wore. Especially considering your situation. I mean, how are you even affording these things? I felt Daniel's hand grip my arm, his eyes welling up with tears. My daughter Sophie, 9 years old, had stopped eating and was staring at her plate, her shoulders hunched like she wanted to disappear. The entire family had gone quiet, waiting to see how I would respond. My brother looked uncomfortable but said nothing. My parents exchanged glances but stayed silent. Emma, please give Daniel his phone back, I said calmly, keeping my voice level. Why? Jennifer interjected before Emma could respond. Maybe it's a good lesson for him. Not everyone gets to have the latest iPhone, especially when their parents are barely making ends meet. My father cleared his throat uncomfortably. My mother suddenly became very interested in her mashed potatoes. No one defended me. No one questioned Jennifer's assessment of my financial situation. I had been paying Jennifer's mortgage for 3 years. Every month, without fail, $2,000 transferred from my account to hers on the first of the month. He didn't know. She thought our late grandmother's trust fund was still somehow covering it, some magical account that never ran dry. I had let her believe that lie because family was supposed to help family quietly, without expectations or recognition. But that was just the mortgage. There were other things too. The car payment on her luxury SUV, the one she claimed was essential for her image as a boutique owner. The private school tuition for Emma and her younger brother Tyler, because public school wasn't appropriate for their social development. The credit card I had paid off twice when her business expenses got out of control after buying too much inventory that didn't sell. Jennifer's boutique clothing store had been hemorrhaging money for 2 years, but somehow she always seemed to stay afloat, never questioning how the bills kept getting paid. Jennifer, that's enough, I said quietly. Emma, the phone. Now. Emma looked at her mother, who shrugged. Let her have it back, him. We can't help that some people don't understand financial responsibility. The phone clattered onto the table. Daniel grabbed it quickly, checking for scratches. I put my arm around both my children and stood up. We're going to head out early tonight, I announced. The kids have school tomorrow. Oh, come on, Jennifer said, rolling her eyes. Don't be so sensitive. I'm just being honest. You've always been too proud to admit when you're struggling. I smiled. Actually smiled. Because in that moment I made a decision. You're absolutely right, I told her. I should be more honest about my financial situation. The drive home was quiet. Daniel held his phone protectively in his lap. Sophie kept looking at me with worried eyes. Mom, are we poor? Sophie finally asked as I pulled into our driveway. No, sweetheart. We're not poor. Then why did Aunt Jennifer say that? I parked the car and turned to face both of them. Sometimes people don't know the whole story. But that's going to change soon. That night, after the kids were in bed, I sat at my kitchen table with my laptop and my phone. I opened my banking app and looked at the scheduled transfers. There were 5 of them, all going to Jennifer or accounts in her name. Mortgage, $2,000 monthly. Car payment, $650 monthly. Private school tuition, $1,500 monthly. Store lease, $2,800 monthly. Emergency fund, $500 monthly. $7,450 every single month for 3 years. That was $268,200. Over $250,000. I had been able to do it because my small software company had been acquired by a larger tech firm 2 years ago. I had stayed on as a senior director and my salary was comfortable. very comfortable. But I had never told my family about the acquisition or my position. I drove a modest car, lived in a normal house, and dressed simply, old habits from growing up without much money. Jennifer, on the other hand, had married a man from a wealthy family. When he left her 4 years ago, she got the house but not the lifestyle money. Her boutique was supposed to be her fresh start, her independence. Instead, it became a money pit that she refused to close because of pride. I clicked on each transfer and selected Cancel Recurring Payment. Then I drafted an email to my bank's private client services. Please cancel all scheduled transfers to Jennifer Morrison accounts effective immediately. No exceptions, no extensions. Confirmed. I hit send at 11:42 on Sunday night. Monday morning arrived with texts from Jennifer. Casual ones. A funny meme. A complaint about Emma's math homework. Nothing unusual. Tuesday, the first mortgage payment bounced. Jennifer wouldn't know yet. Those notifications took a few days. Wednesday, I took the kids to their favorite pizza place after school. Daniel had been quiet since Sunday, still hurt by Emma's words. I ordered extra breadsticks and let them get dessert. Can I ask you something? Daniel said, picking at his pizza crust. Always. Why doesn't Aunt Jennifer like us? Sophie looked up, waiting for my answer. It's complicated, buddy. Sometimes adults have problems that have nothing to do with kids, but kids get caught in the middle anyway. That's not fair, Sophie said firmly. No, I agreed. It's not. Thursday morning, my phone rang. Jennifer. I let it go to voicemail. She called again. Then texted. Call me. Important. I waited until my lunch break to call back. Finally, Jennifer snapped when she answered. Do you know what just happened? The mortgage company called. They said my payment didn't go through. The trust fund account apparently doesn't exist. Do you know anything about this? What trust fund account? I asked, keeping my voice neutral. Grandma's trust. The one that's been paying my mortgage since Mark left. Jennifer, Grandma's trust fund was divided between us 4 years ago. You got $40,000. You spent it on the store's initial inventory. Silence. Long, heavy silence. That's not possible, she said finally. The mortgage has been paid automatically for years. Then maybe you should check your bank statements and see where the money's actually been coming from. What are you talking about? I'm talking about being honest about financial situations. Like you said I should be on Sunday. I could hear her breathing change. What did you do? I stopped being poor, I said simply. And I stopped making you rich. Check your accounts, Jennifer. All of them. The car payment bounced too. And the school tuition. And your store lease. You. Her voice went up an octave. You've been paying my mortgage? And your car. And Emma and Tyler's school. And your boutique rent. And your emergency fund. $7,450 a month for 3 years. That's not, you can't afford. I couldn't afford it, I corrected. If I was barely making ends meet like you told everyone. But I'm not poor, Jennifer. I never was. I just let you think I was because it seemed easier than explaining where my money actually came from. Your software company, she said slowly. The acquisition. Oh my God, that was real. I had mentioned it once 2 years ago at a family dinner. Jennifer had laughed and said I was exaggerating, that small companies like mine didn't get acquired for real money. Everyone had agreed with her. I hadn't brought it up again. Very real, I confirmed. Real enough to pay your bills for 3 years while you insulted my children and told everyone I was struggling. I didn't mean. Emma was just being a kid. Emma was repeating what you told her. That poor kids don't need expensive things, that my kids have too much, that I don't understand financial responsibility. I'll talk to her. I'll make her apologize. The damage is done, Jennifer. And the money is stopped. All of it. Permanently. You can't do this. The mortgage is due in 5 days. The school payment already bounced. My store lease. Not my problem anymore. Mom and Dad will never forgive you for this. Abandoning family. Actually laughed. Abandoning family? I spent $268,000 keeping your life afloat while you mocked my children. That's not abandonment. That's 3 years of quiet sacrifice that you mistook for weakness. 200, she couldn't finish the sentence. $268,200. I have the bank statements. Every transfer, every payment, Every time I covered your emergencies. All documented. I need that money, she said, and her voice had changed. The superiority was gone. My credit cards are maxed. The store isn't profitable. I can't lose the house. Then maybe it's time to make some changes. Sell the store. Downsize the house. Switch the kids to public school. You know, all the things you assumed I was already doing because I was supposedly so poor. This is cruel. No, I said firmly. Cruel is teaching your daughter that some children deserve less because of their economic status. Cruel is publicly humiliating your nephew over a phone. Cruel is letting your entire family believe I'm failing while you live off my success. I'm not being cruel. I'm being honest. Finally. She hung up. Within an hour my mother called. Jennifer says you've cut her off financially. Please tell me that's not true. It's completely true. But she'll lose everything, the house, the kids' school. She'll figure it out. She's a grown woman with a business degree. When did you become so heartless? I'm not heartless, Mom. I'm just done being everyone's silent bank account while being treated like their charity case. My father called that evening. Your sister's family. We help family. I did help. For 3 years. Quietly. Consistently. Until she decided to teach her children that my children are less deserving because we're supposedly poor. That's where my help ends. You're making a mistake, he warned. The only mistake I made was not telling everyone the truth 3 years ago. Friday afternoon, Jennifer showed up at my office. The receptionist called my extension, sounding apologetic. Your sister's here. She says it's urgent. I went downstairs. Jennifer was in the lobby and she looked different. No designer bag. No perfect makeup. She looked tired. Can we talk? She asked. Please. We went to the coffee shop next door. She ordered water, just water. I checked the bank statements, she said quietly. All of them. You've been paying for everything. But I genuinely thought Grandma had set up some kind of long-term trust. I never questioned it. You never asked. You just assumed you deserved it. I know. And on Sunday I was awful. Emma was awful. I've been teaching her terrible things without even realizing it. You realized it. You just didn't care because you thought you were better than me. She flinched. You're right. I thought I was better. My marriage, my store, my life. Even after Mark left and everything fell apart, I still acted like I was superior, like I had it all figured out. And now I'm terrified. The mortgage company gave me 30 days. The school wants the full semester payment or Emma and Tyler are out. The lease on the store is up for renewal, and the landlord wants 3 months' rent in advance. So sell the store. Refinance the house. Make changes. I can't sell the store. It's all I have. It's a failing business that's been bleeding money for 2 years. It's not all you have. It's an anchor around your neck. She stared at her water glass. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to start over. The same way I did when I started my software company. The same way I did after my divorce. You figure it out because you have to. Can I ask you something? She looked up at me. Why did you help me for so long if you knew I looked down on you? I thought about that for a moment. Because I hoped you'd eventually see that family wasn't about who had more money or a better house or a successful marriage. I hoped you'd realize that quiet support meant more than loud superiority. I was wrong. You weren't wrong, she said softly. I was just too stupid and proud to see it. So now you see it. What changes? Everything, she said. Everything has to change, starting with a real apology to Daniel and Sophie. They deserve that. But Jennifer, I'm not turning the money back on. That part is permanent. I understand. I don't deserve it anyway. I never did. We sat in silence for a while. The coffee shop bustled around us, but at our small table, everything was quiet. For what it's worth, Jennifer finally said, I'm sorry. For Sunday, for the last 3 years, for all of it. And I know sorry doesn't pay a mortgage. No, I agreed. It doesn't. But it's a start. She nodded and stood up. I should go. I have a lot to figure out. I watched her leave, walking to her expensive SUV that she wouldn't be able to afford much longer. My phone buzzed with a text from Daniel. Is Aunt Jennifer still mad at us? I typed back quickly. No, buddy. Everything's going to be okay. And for the first time in 3 years, I actually believed that was true. The dining room was quiet as my family gathered for what was supposed to be a planning dinner. Mom had been talking about this beach vacation for months. Everyone was excited, except apparently my 8-year-old daughter wasn't welcome anymore. "We need to talk about the sleeping arrangements," Mom said. "The villa only has 4 bedrooms, and with your brother bringing his new girlfriend, we're tight on space." My daughter sat beside me, coloring quietly, completely unaware of what was coming. "I think it would be best if Emma stayed home this time," Mom said, not even looking at my daughter as she spoke. "She's young. She won't remember it anyway, and honestly the activities we have planned are more adult-oriented." The table went silent. My sister looked down at her plate. My brother shifted uncomfortably but said nothing. "You're asking me to leave my daughter behind?" I asked, keeping my voice steady. "It's not personal, but let's be realistic. We're planning wine tastings, late dinners, water sports. A child would just slow us down. Plus, the photos would look better without coordinating around nap times." "She doesn't have tantrums," I said quietly. "And she's been looking forward to this." Dad cleared his throat. "Your mother has a point. This is supposed to be sophisticated. Maybe Emma would be more comfortable at home." My daughter's hand stopped moving across the page. She understood enough to know they were talking about her, even if she didn't grasp the full cruelty of it. "Remove your child from the vacation," Mom declared, setting down her glass with finality. "She doesn't fit with our image. We're trying to create a certain atmosphere, and having a child there would ruin the aesthetic we're going for." Emma's eyes started to well up. She looked at me, confused and hurt. I smiled gently at her, then pulled out my phone. "I understand. Let me just make a quick call." Mom looked satisfied, assuming I was calling a babysitter. My brother started discussing excursions. My sister finally looked up, relieved. I dialed the resort while everyone resumed eating. "Hello, Seaside Vista Resort? This is regarding reservation 847293. I need to process a full refund on the booking." The chatter stopped. "Yes, the entire reservation. The villa rental, all activity packages, the welcome dinner, everything." Mom's fork clattered against her plate. "Refund what?" I held up one finger, continuing my conversation with the resort representative. "No, there's no problem with your service. It's a family matter. Yes, I understand there's a cancellation fee for the activities. That's fine. Please proceed with processing the refund for the remaining amount." "What are you doing?" Dad demanded, his face reddening. I ended the call and opened my banking app, showing my mother the screen. The transaction was clearly visible. A $3,000 deposit to Seaside Vista Resort with my name on the payment. "That's the deposit I put down 3 months ago," I explained. "The remaining $8,400 was due next week. I was going to pay that too." Mom's face went pale. "You paid for the villa?" "The villa, the activities, the transfers, the welcome dinner. All of it. I wanted to do something special for your retirement. I was going to cover everything." My brother's girlfriend looked between everyone, clearly confused about what was happening. My sister had gone very pale. Wait a minute," Dad started, but I continued. "The resort is processing the refund. It should be back in my account within a week. Without the booking, there's no vacation. You can't just cancel it." Mom's voice rose. "We've been planning this for months." "You have been planning," I agreed. "But I was paying. And since my daughter doesn't fit your image, I assumed you'd prefer to make other arrangements." My brother finally spoke. "This is insane. You're canceling everyone's vacation because Mom suggested Emma stay home." "Mom didn't suggest. She declared. She told me to remove my child from a trip I was funding because an 8-year-old doesn't match the atmosphere she wants." Emma had stopped crying and was watching the adults. I squeezed her hand reassuringly. "How much did you say the total cost was?" my sister asked quietly. "The deposit was $3,000. The remaining balance would have been another $8,400, so $11,400 total for the week. That covered the 4-bedroom villa, all the activity passes, the meal package and transportation." Dad's jaw tightened. "And you were going to pay all of that?" I thought it would be a nice gift for Mom's retirement. A chance for the whole family to make memories together. But apparently not the whole family is welcome to make those memories. Mom's hands were shaking as she reached for her wine glass. "I didn't know you were paying for it. I thought we were all splitting the cost." You never asked who was paying, I pointed out. You just started planning activities and announcing sleeping arrangements. Arrangements that didn't include my daughter. We can figure this out, Dad said, his tone shifting to the one he used when negotiating business deals. Let's not be hasty. Maybe we can adjust the plans to be more kid-friendly. I shook my head. The refund is already processing. The reservation will be cancelled by morning. Call them back, Mom demanded. Tell them it was a mistake. It wasn't a mistake, I replied. You made it very clear that Emma isn't welcome. I'm simply respecting your wishes by ensuring she won't be somewhere she doesn't fit in. My brother leaned forward. Maybe Mom was out of line, but you're punishing all of us. I was looking forward to this. Were you? Because when Mom told me to leave my daughter behind, you didn't say a word. None of you did. The silence confirmed everything. My sister finally spoke. I didn't know what to say. You could have said it was wrong, that this was supposed to be a family vacation and Emma is family. But you didn't. Mom set down her wine glass and I could see her mind working, trying to find an angle. What if we apologize? What if we promise Emma can come and we'll plan activities she'll enjoy? The refund is already processing, I repeated. And honestly, even if I could reverse it, I wouldn't want to. This dinner showed me exactly how you all view my daughter. She's an inconvenience, something that ruins your aesthetic. That's not an environment I want her in for a week, beach or no beach. You're being unreasonable, Dad argued. You're throwing away a $12,000 vacation over a simple disagreement. An $11,400 vacation, I corrected. And it wasn't a disagreement. It was my mother telling me my child wasn't good enough to join the family trip. That's not something I'm going to compromise on. Emma tugged on my sleeve. Mom, can we go home now? Of course, sweetheart. I stood up, gathering our things. We have some planning of our own to do. Planning for what? My brother asked. Well, I'll be getting my $3,000 deposit back in a week. That's enough for a nice mother-daughter trip. Maybe we'll go to that water park Emma's been asking about. Or maybe we'll do our own beach vacation, just the two of us. Somewhere she's actually wanted. Mom's face went from pale to red. You're really doing this? I really am, I confirmed. You taught me something important tonight, Mom. You taught me that you value appearances and sophistication more than you value your granddaughter. That's good information to have. I took Emma's hand and headed toward the door. Wait, my sister called out. What are we supposed to do now? Some of us already requested time off work. I paused at the doorway. I guess you'll do what I would have had to do if I'd followed Mom's demand. You'll figure it out on your own. Maybe you can all pool your money and book something else. I'm sure you can find a nice villa that fits your image. It just won't be the one I was paying for. This is ridiculous. Mom stood up, her chair scraping against the floor. You can't hold the entire family hostage because your feelings got hurt. I'm not holding anyone hostage, I said calmly. I'm simply choosing not to fund a vacation that my daughter isn't welcome on. That seems perfectly reasonable to me. As Emma and I walked to the car, I could hear raised voices starting in the dining room. My phone began buzzing before we even pulled out of the driveway. First my sister, then my brother, then my father. I let them all go to voicemail. Emma was quiet on the drive home, processing everything that had happened. Mom, she finally asked. Why didn't Grandma want me to go on the trip? I chose my words carefully. Sometimes grown-ups make bad decisions and say hurtful things. What Grandma said wasn't okay, and I wasn't going to let her treat you that way. But now nobody gets to go on the vacation. That's right. But you know what? We're going to plan our own adventure, just you and me. Would you like that? Her face brightened a little. Really? Really? We can go anywhere you want. Beach, mountains, theme park. Your choice. By the time we got home, I had 17 missed calls and a dozen text messages. My brother's was particularly entitled, Mom's crying. Hope you're happy. Just call the resort back and fix this. My sister's was more measured but equally manipulative. I understand you're upset, but this affects all of us. Can we please talk about this like adults? My dad's was the most revealing. Your mother didn't mean it the way it sounded. She's just stressed about the planning. Don't throw away money out of spite. Not one of them acknowledged that what Mom said was wrong. Not one of them apologized on her behalf, or their own. They were only concerned about losing their vacation. I texted my brother back. The resort has my decision. Enjoy your summer at home. To my sister, I did talk about it like an adult. I made an adult decision not to fund a trip my daughter was excluded from. To my dad, this isn't about spite. It's about self-respect, something I'm teaching Emma by showing her she doesn't have to accept being treated as less than. The next morning, I received a confirmation email from Seaside Vista Resort. The reservation had been canceled. The refund minus a $400 cancellation fee for the activity packages would be processed within a week. My phone rang. It was Mom. The resort sent me a cancellation notice, she said, her voice tight. This is really happening? It really is. I think you're overreacting. And I think you told me to exclude my daughter from a family vacation because she doesn't fit your image. So we're at an impasse. What do you want from me? Mom asked, frustration clear in her tone. Do you want me to beg? I want you to understand why what you said was wrong. I want you to genuinely care that you hurt your granddaughter's feelings. But I don't think you do. I think you're just upset about losing the vacation. There was a long pause. Maybe I was a bit harsh. A bit harsh, I repeated. You told me to remove my child from a trip I was paying for because she doesn't fit your image. That's not harsh. That's cruel. She's 8. She won't even remember this by next month. And there was the real problem. Mom genuinely didn't think what she'd said was wrong. Goodbye, Mom. When you figure out why this is a problem, we can talk. Until then, Emma and I have our own vacation to plan. I hung up before she could respond. That afternoon, Emma and I sat together with a tablet looking at family-friendly resorts. We found a beach resort about 4 hours away with a kids' club, water slides, and a dolphin encounter program. The week-long package was $2,200, well within the refund I'd be getting. This one. Emma pointed excitedly at the dolphins. Can we really go here? We really can, I confirmed and booked it right then. My family continued to call and text for the next few days, but their messages revealed their real priorities. They were angry about the canceled vacation, not remorseful about how they'd treated Emma. My mother never actually apologized. She just kept insisting I was overreacting and being selfish. The irony wasn't lost on me. When the refund hit my account, I took a screenshot and sent it to the family group chat, along with a photo of Emma's face when I told her about our dolphin encounter. The caption was simple: having a much better vacation with someone who actually wants me there. My sister replied, "That's petty." I wrote back, "No. What's petty is excluding an 8-year-old from a family trip because she doesn't match your aesthetic. What I'm doing is called having standards." Then I muted the group chat and focused on packing for our trip. Emma and I had the best vacation. We built sandcastles, swam with dolphins, ate ice cream for breakfast one day just because we could. There were no wine tastings or sophisticated dinners, no worrying about perfect photos or maintaining appearances. It was just a mother and daughter enjoying time together, which is what a family vacation should have been all along. When we got back, I posted photos online. My mother commented, "Looks like you had fun without us." I replied simply, "We did. Thanks for the opportunity." Sometimes the best response to being excluded is to show them exactly what they're missing out on. And sometimes that lesson costs $11,400. But it's worth every penny when you're teaching your daughter that she's worth standing up for. My family eventually planned their own trip, splitting the costs between them. From what I heard through my sister, it was stressful, expensive, and nowhere near as nice as what I had booked. Perfect. As for Emma and me, we've already started planning next year's vacation. Just the two of us again. Because we learned something important from this experience. Sometimes the best family is the one you choose to prioritize, and the best revenge is living well without the people who don't value you. Mom never did understand what she did wrong. But Emma understood that her mother would always choose her, always protect her, and always make sure she knew she was valued. And that lesson was worth more than any vacation could ever be. The text message came through while I was reviewing quarterly reports for the Henderson account. Mom's name flashed on my screen and I already knew something was wrong. She only texted during work hours when she needed something immediately. "Need to talk about Emma's party. Call me." I stepped out of my office and dialed. She answered on the first ring. "Sweetheart, I have wonderful news," Mom began, her voice bright with forced cheerfulness. "Your sister is having a gender reveal party and we're all so excited." "That's great, Mom. When is it? Well, that's the thing. She wants it on the 15th, and I know that's Emma's graduation celebration, but this is really important. A new baby is more special than graduation. Emma will understand. I stood in the hallway, phone pressed to my ear, watching my colleagues move past me with their coffee cups and file folders. Emma had circled that date on our kitchen calendar 3 months ago. She'd been planning her dress, her speech thanking her teachers, the playlist she wanted played during dinner. Mom, we already booked the venue. Emma invited her friends. I know, honey, but your sister really has her heart set on the Riverside Inn. It's the perfect place for photos. You can do Emma's thing another weekend. She's only 18. She won't even remember this in a few years. My daughter would absolutely remember this. She'd remember that her grandmother chose her aunt's unborn baby over her hard-earned achievement. 4 years of honor roll. 3 years as student council president. A full scholarship to the state university. Does it have to be that specific venue? I asked. Yes. Your sister already looked everywhere else. Everything's booked. Please, just this once, put family first. I thought about arguing. I thought about listing all the reasons why this was unfair. Why Emma deserved this celebration, why my sister had months to plan and shouldn't get to hijack Emma's event. But I'd learned years ago that arguing with my mother only made things worse. I'll handle it, I said. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. I knew you'd understand. You're always so reasonable. She hung up before I could say anything else. I walked back into my office and sat down. My assistant, Marcus, poked his head in. Everything okay? Family stuff, I said. Hey, do you have the contact list from the Riverside account? Then, sure, 1 second. He disappeared and returned with a folder. Here. Why? Just need to make a call. I found the number I needed. Thomas Whitmore, owner of the Riverside Inn. I'd been managing his investment portfolio for 15 years, since he'd inherited the property from his father and didn't know the first thing about wealth management. That initial consultation had turned into a relationship that had tripled his net worth. I dialed his direct line. Jennifer, Thomas answered warmly. To what do I owe the pleasure? I need a favor, Thomas. Or rather, I need to know something. Anything. Did my mother try to book your venue for June 15th? There was a pause. Actually, yes. About an hour ago. She said it was for a family celebration. I told her we already had a booking for that date. A graduation party. She got quite insistent, said there must be some mistake. There's no mistake. That graduation party is for my daughter, Emma. Oh. Another pause. Your mother didn't mention that. I'm sure she didn't. What exactly did she say? She asked if I could contact the other party and offer them a different date. Said her event was more important. Something about a new baby. She offered to pay double the deposit. I closed my eyes. Of course she did. Thomas, I need you to do something for me. When my mother calls back, and she will call back, I need you to explain exactly who booked that venue first. I can do that. Should I mention our business relationship? Only if she pushes. But Thomas, whatever happens, that venue stays booked for Emma's party. Consider it done. That girl deserves her celebration. I thanked him and hung up. Then I called Emma's school to confirm the graduation ceremony time. Then I called the caterer, the photographer, the DJ. Everything was still on schedule. Everything would stay on schedule. That evening, Emma came home from her part-time job at the library. She dropped her bag by the door and headed straight for the kitchen, where I was chopping vegetables for dinner. Grandma called me, she said quietly. I set down the knife. What did she say? She said you agreed to cancel my party. She said I should be more mature about sharing special moments with family. Emma's voice cracked. Mom, did you really cancel it? No, baby. I did not cancel your party. But Grandma said the venue. The venue is still booked for your party. Nothing has changed. Emma studied my face, looking for certainty. Promise. I promise. Your party is happening exactly as planned. She hugged me tight and fierce, the way she used to when she was little. Thank you. After she went upstairs to study, my phone rang. Mom's name appeared again. What did you do? She demanded. No greeting, no preamble. I made sure Emma's party stays on the calendar. The venue owner said the date is booked and he can't move it. I offered him double the money, Jennifer. Double. He refused. That's because the booking is solid. Well, call him and unbook it. Your sister is distraught. She's been crying all afternoon. Mom, Emma booked that venue 3 months ago. She sent invitations. Her friends requested time off work. Her teachers are coming. So we'll do it the next weekend. What's the big deal? The big deal is that Emma earned this celebration. She worked for 4 years for this moment. And your sister is bringing a new life into this family. That's more important than some party. I took a breath. Let it out slowly. No, Mom. It's not. Excuse me. Emma's graduation is not some party. It's recognition of her hard work. And you don't get to decide it's less important than my sister's event. I'm your mother. I'm telling you to fix this. I can't fix it. The venue is booked. Then unbook it. I can't do that either. Why not? Her voice went sharp with suspicion. What's really going on here? Nothing is going on. The venue has a booking. That's all. Jennifer Marie, if you don't fix this right now, there will be consequences. What kind of consequences? Your sister is my daughter too. If I have to choose between supporting her big moment and yours, well, you're making that choice very easy. She hung up. I sat at the kitchen table listening to Emma's music drifting down from upstairs. Some pop song about being strong. I thought about all the times I'd smoothed things over, kept the peace, been the reasonable one. Not this time. 2 days later my sister called. Her voice was careful, measured. Mom told me about the venue situation. Did she tell you it's Emma's graduation party? Silence. Then, no. She said there was a scheduling conflict with some work event of yours. It's not a work event. It's your niece's graduation celebration. She's had it booked for 3 months. I didn't know that. Mom said the venue was available and that you were being difficult about sharing it. Your gender reveal sounds wonderful and I'm happy for you. But Emma's party was scheduled first. My sister sighed. Look, I don't want family drama. Mom's been calling me every few hours about how you're ruining everything. Can't we find a compromise? What kind of compromise? Maybe combine them? A dual celebration. I thought about that. Emma's formal dinner with her teachers and academic mentors, mixed with a gender reveal covered in pink and blue decorations. Emma's carefully curated playlist interrupted by baby-themed games. That won't work. Why not? Because Emma deserves her own day. She's worked incredibly hard. This is her moment. And this is my moment too. Then find another venue. Or another date. Emma had hers first. Mom said you have connections with the owner. She said you could fix this if you wanted to. There was. Mom had been digging, making assumptions, putting pieces together. I do have connections with the owner. That's how I knew Emma's booking was secure. So you could get us in. I could. But I won't. Emma's party stays as scheduled. My sister's voice hardened. You always do this. You act all noble and protective, but really you just want to be the favorite. This isn't about being the favorite. It's about honoring commitments. Fine. But don't expect me to come to Emma's little party. She hung up. The following week, Mom stopped by my house unannounced. I was working from home, taking video calls with clients. She let herself in with the key I'd given her years ago for emergencies. We need to talk, she announced, standing in my home office doorway. I muted my microphone and told my client I'd be right back. Then I followed Mom to the kitchen. This has gone on long enough, she said. Your sister is extremely hurt. The family is falling apart over your stubbornness. The family is falling apart because you tried to cancel Emma's party without asking me first. I'm asking you now. Call the venue. Make this right. No. Jennifer. Mom, stop. The answer is no. Emma's party is happening. If my sister wants a gender reveal at the Riverside Inn, she can book a different date. There are no other dates available this summer. Then she can choose a different venue. There are dozens of beautiful places within 30 miles. Mom's face flushed. You know what your problem is. You never learned to share. Even as a child, everything had to be yours. Your toys, your space, your attention. This isn't about sharing. This is about respect. Respect? You're disrespecting your entire family. I'm protecting my daughter. From what? From having to share one day with her aunt's celebration? From learning that the world doesn't revolve around her. I stood up. You need to leave now. Don't you dare. Mom, leave. We'll talk when you're ready to be reasonable. He stared at me shocked. Then she grabbed her purse and stormed out. The door slammed hard enough to rattle the windows. That evening, Emma found me on the back porch. She sat down beside me on the steps. Grandma's really mad, isn't she? Yes. Is it because of me? It's because of her. Not you. Maybe I should just tell her it's okay. That we can move the party. I turned to look at my daughter. Do you want to move the party? No. But I don't want you fighting with Grandma either. Sometimes standing up for what's right means people get upset. That's okay. You're worth standing up for. She leaned her head on my shoulder. Thanks, Mom. June 15th arrived sunny and warm. I drove to the riverside in early to meet with the coordinator. Thomas was there too, checking on details personally. Everything's perfect, he assured me. We're ready for Emma's big day. Thank you for this, Thomas. Really? Hey, you've made me a lot of money over the years. Least I can do is make sure one teenage girl gets the party she deserves. He paused. Your mother called again yesterday. Offered triple the original rate. What did you tell her? That some bookings are sacred. That business isn't always about the highest bidder. He smiled. She asked how I could turn down that much money. I told her I'd take care of the people who take care of me. Then she asked if I was talking about you, and I said I was talking about honoring commitments. Did she say anything else? She asked how long I'd known you. When I said 15 years, she got very quiet. Then she asked if you'd ever mentioned Emma's party to me. I said you'd booked it months ago and confirmed it multiple times. Then she hung up. The party was beautiful. Emma wore a blue dress she'd saved for months to buy. Her teachers gave speeches about her leadership and dedication. Her friends presented a slideshow of photos from 4 years together. The food was elegant, the music perfect, the sunset over the river spectacular. Mom didn't come. Neither did my sister. But Emma didn't seem to notice. She was surrounded by people who celebrated her. Truly celebrated her, without conditions or comparisons. As I watched Emma laugh with her friends, making toasts and taking photos, my phone buzzed with a text from Thomas. Your mother showed up at the entrance. Security stopped her. She tried to explain she's Emma's grandmother. I told them the guest list is final. She's currently in the parking lot. Should I call the police? I looked at Emma, radiant and happy, unaware of the drama outside. No, I texted back. Let her sit there if she wants. But she doesn't come in. Another text came through, this time from Mom. You'll regret this. Family is everything and you just chose to destroy it. I deleted the message and turned off my phone. Then I walked over to Emma and put my arm around her shoulders. Having fun? I asked. Best night of my life, she said, beaming. Thank you for making this happen. You made it happen, sweetheart. I just made sure nothing got in your way. She hugged me tight and I knew I'd made exactly the right choice. Some battles are worth fighting. Some boundaries are worth defending. And some daughters are worth every bit of family drama that comes with protecting their joy. The party went late into the evening. Emma danced with her friends, cut her graduation cake, and gave a short speech thanking everyone who'd supported her journey. When it was finally time to leave, she was exhausted and happy, her face glowing with the kind of pure contentment that comes from feeling truly valued. As we drove home, she said quietly, Grandma didn't come. I know. Is she ever going to forgive us? Eventually. And if she doesn't, that's her choice. But you deserved today exactly as it was. Emma nodded, then smiled. It was perfect, Mom. Absolutely perfect. And it was.